let's try this again. The joys of live streaming. We're getting there. Maybe. Have we gone live? Yay! All right. Oh, I need my iPad, don't I? Yes. And I got my dog to go downstairs, so it should be a little bit of a quieter session this time, which is pretty exciting. All right. So the first selection for today, and I can't remember which one he recommended, is a Sibelius Sonatina. And he said this is Louis Sauter. I never say his name right. Yeah, he recommended the first one for sure. So that is what we're going to start with. And meanwhile, I'm going to check one more thing. If you all want to say hi, you can always click on the event that I'm doing, and there is this. Oh, there he is. Hi. You can always chat and say hi. That's always fun to know somebody is there and watching. All right, so the first one I'm going to do is Sibelius's Sonatine number 1. I do not know these at all. I did not know he wrote sonatinas, but I'm a huge fan of them. I think they're fantastic, usually for students especially. So we'll see what this one involves. All right, first movement is like 4 pages. Looks like we're in A major. There's at least a place down here where both hands are in treble clef. That is good to know. I sometimes get a little lost with that. We've got some more clef changes down here. Lots of different textures. This looks quite interesting. We've got what looks like octaves, but it's actually intense. So that'll be interesting. And I just kind of need to see those as tenths, so I'm not obsessing over every little note. Then we've got some little scale figures. And it goes down the scale, and then it gets a little bit calmer again. So the most difficult section appears to be the second page, so maybe I need to try to remind myself to take some deep breaths before I get there. It's marked Allegro. We've got the triplets, no 16ths. So since that triplet section is on the second page primarily, I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to sabotage myself. So, yeah, 1, 2. charming. There were a couple of spots that got me a little bit stumped in there. But aside from that, really quite accessible. So that's a delight to find. And I should also add here that in the description of this event, there should be a listing of all the pieces I'm playing with links to the music in IMSLP, should you choose to follow along. All right, let's go ahead and also read this second movement, which is a largo. It's in 3/2, so the half note is going to get the pulse. That's sometimes a little tricky to read, but this one looks pretty straightforward. We have, it looks like it's in A major or C sharp minor. I haven't determined that. It's really hard to tell. And it looks like for at least the beginning, the left hand will be crossing over the right hand. Good to know. But the right hand still has the melody. Interesting. Looks very hymn-like. There's some homophonic rhythmic movement. Nothing faster than half note, and those are just in passing. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Enjoyed that. Lovely. And quite a harmonic twist at the end, not what I was anticipating. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of looking at this last movement, which is Allegro Moderato. I'm not sure I'm going to do it. Don't do it too fast, it will be okay. I don't know, what do you think? Should I dare it? Is anyone gonna pipe in and tell me if I should try to do this? Okay, we're just gonna try it. If I need to stop in the middle, I will allow myself to do that. So Allegro Moderato, this does seem like it's F sharp minor in here. We've got eighth notes and triplets. So I don't want to go too crazy. At least it's a short movement, so that's good. There's a lot of just this kind of accompaniment, so that shouldn't be too bad. In the faster parts, it's usually obviously a 3-note grouping, it's triplets, but I'm gonna focus on that top note of each of the triplets because it's just outlining an arpeggio. So, 1, 2. Actually not as bad as I thought it might be, or not, I shouldn't use the word bad, not as difficult as I thought it might be. So that's encouraging. And yeah, so that was the third movement of Sibelius's Sonatina. Really interesting. Looking at time here. I think there's 3 of them in total. I think I'm going to look at the slow movement of the second one too. I try to hear it in my head to decide if I'm going to like it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. So this is going to be the second movement of his second sonatina. I'm having a little trouble figuring out the tempo. I think that's why I was hesitating. 4 sharps, looks like E major. It's only 2 pages. Yeah, I'm really having trouble figuring out tempo. There's no metronome indication, so I'm sort of on my own. Nothing faster than, there's these little triplets. I don't know. I think it's going to feel too slow, but we'll find out. Looking for anything else out of the ordinary. Looks pretty straightforward. Lovely. So my brain is still waking up to sight reading land here. This is kind of an interesting thing. Sometimes I get a little stuck. All right, what's next on my list? I should have it somewhere else, really. Okay, I think... Right. Okay, the next one on my list is... Where'd it go? Louis Sauter's, because I saw him watching, so I thought I should go ahead and do it. And he asked for a specific movement, first movement. All right, so let's try it. I think I have time, so we're going to do that today. Marked on Dante, F major. Looks like a very kind of Alberti bass kind of accompaniment in the left hand, but a little fancier than that. Looks like lovely melody. He expands upon it, makes it a little bit thicker. It does change key to F minor in the middle. It does get dense in a couple of spots. Looks like we've got the melody in octaves and then there's some other notes going on in there. So it looks like there's actually two melodies perhaps at once. So I'm going to probably focus on the octaves and then try to get the other stuff in there. A lot of tempo things at the end, adagio, rallentando, più mosso, yada, yada, yada. So, and it ends in F minor. Interesting. So a lot of shifting between F major, F minor. Nothing faster than 16ths, so I don't want to go too slow. What's 60? So that's too slow. evolution in the style or the mood, I guess I would say. And I've had a tricky time getting a good tempo for that one. So if you stayed stuck with me, good job. And thank you, Sauter, for providing that and for listening today. All right, next on the list is Teresa Carreño's Kleiner Walzer. So Teresa Carreño is somebody that I've learned about somewhat recently. I had heard of her, but I didn't know much about her. So she was born in Venezuela, but very early on in her life, her family brought her over to the United States. And there's a beautiful children's book called Dancing Hands that was put out last year, all about that story. And it focuses a lot on her coming over to the United States and then being invited to perform for Abraham Lincoln in the White House. So anyway, this is her Kleiner Walzer. Most of her music is very, very difficult. She must have had gigantic hands or something. She was also very technically proficient, it seems. So I am not going to sight read a lot of her stuff, but a friend of mine recommended this one, so we're going to check it out. Oh yeah, he said there were a couple spots where the hands are a little bit far apart. So that could be interesting. Obviously it's a waltz, D major. So when the right hand has notes that are quite far apart, I'm going to focus on the upper voice, which is the melody. So I have to just remind myself of that so I don't freak out, which I may still do. And it's interesting, there's an interesting rhythm that looks awkward, but it's really straight. Oh, wait. Oh. Yeah, that rhythm looks a little bit awkward on the page, but it runs throughout. So I think I should be okay now that I know that's what it is. Checking to see if there's key changes. The addition I'm using is a little bit not so lovely to read. That should be interesting. Looks kind of repetitive. The main theme comes back quite a bit. Alright, let's see what happens. Spark pianissimo. My hair's doing weird things, I noticed. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. right, that was a little daunting. Holy smokes. And my eyes are all blurry now from not blinking for like 8 pages. Yeah, I think this is one of those pieces that has a trick to it. So it's kind of like sight reading list. It's really hard to read it off the page. But once you figure out what's going on, I think it would be a lot easier. So I totally bombed at the beginning of that, but that's okay. I was really grateful that the melody repeats a lot, because by the time it repeated the 4th time or so, I was like, ah, yes, okay. I kind of know what we're doing. So that was Teresa Carreño's Kleiner Walzer. Woo! It's also not my day today. It's like one of those iffy sight reading days, which is always exciting. All right, the next piece is a composer totally new to me. I don't know anything about her. I believe she's Russian. Her name is Sofia Zybina. I don't know what her years are, but I found it in IMSLP, and this is her Mazurka. I kind of picked it out because it says con tristeza, and I kind of knew my sight reading was not going to be spot on today, so I thought, oh, nice and slow, yay! B minor, which is also one of my favorite keys. It might be a little weird tempo-wise. It looks like there's some fluctuations in here, so I'm not quite sure what to expect. But here's another clue. On the second page, it's lamentabile, which I'm assuming that means with lament. I think what is puzzling me is there's one part that says con fuoco, so that's why I was like, maybe it's not that slow. But fastest notes are really 8th notes in here. thought that was absolutely beautiful. I love discovering pieces I've never heard of by composers I've never heard of. So that was Sofia Zybina from Russia. And again, I don't know her years. I'm assuming this was quite a while ago that she was alive. And there are a few more pieces that are on IMSLP, or at least maybe one other piece by her there. So someone to look into. That would also be a great student piece. So if you're looking for a piece written by a woman that's a little bit more out there and that's not ever performed, this might be a really good one. And I keep saying this, but in the description there's links to all these pieces. So, all right, the next one I'm going to do is another one by a woman. Some of this I might have to not play because this is definitely a little bit more challenging. But this is by Rita Strohl. And I think she might have been French. It's a theme and variations. So sometimes those can be really daunting. But we can always skip the ones that like make me turn blue in the face. All right, so A major. The theme is pretty straightforward. Quarter note is 72. It says without getting slower. So yeah, whatever, I'm sight reading, so I can do what I want. Very homophonic, basically just quarter notes, dotted 8/16ths. And then variations are variations, so I'm going to take them kind of one at a time and see where we go. I just want to get an idea of her music. I'm just doing a lot of research right now, trying to find music that students can learn that are written by women. And it's a bonus that it's on IMSLP, so you don't have to pay for them. So if you don't know about IMSLP, go check it out. And if you like their stuff, donate, because we need to keep them around. Lots of ledger lines, so before I start, okay, so the way I'm going to approach these ledger lines is I'm just going to be asking, am I moving by step or skip? It's mostly step and skip by a third, so I'm just going to do that. Sure what to make of it. Already variation one is like, shoot, I'll just do it slowly. 16ths, the melody is in the right hand. Okay, I do like it. That's why I'm keeping on going. I don't know. It's just one of those days. Of that today, but that was charming. I mean, I do think that there's some potential in there, and I think it might be nice. It would be a good piece for an advanced student, certainly. that through slowly, I think, to ascertain whether or not I would want to do that one. But not bad. Okay, next I am going to do, what time is it? Oh, we have 10 minutes left. All right, I'm going to do, this is a transcription by Bach-Joseffy of Bach's Overture, Aria, and Bourrée. And I don't really get it because some of this I think is his, from a violin partita, but not all of it is. I'm not going to do the first movement, which is the Overture. That's from the partita, for sure. The second movement is an aria, and I cannot figure out where it's from. And then I think the third movement, which is a dance, is from a cello suite, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, okay, here's the aria. And I don't know if I know it. I think that's going to be my tempo though. It's in E minor, which I love E minor. Mostly 16ths and 8ths. I might even take it a little bit slower. It's adagio con molto sentimento, so very filled with emotion. this must be from the violin partita. Because of the texture, seems a little bit awkward, so that's why I'm guessing that's what the case is. Okay, this is the one I'm really confused about. The Bourrée, because this reminds me of one of the cello suites. It is, but it's in a different key, so this might absolutely drive me bonkers. Because there is no cello suite in E major, I'm just telling you. All right, and because this is sort of awkwardly written, I'm going to take a pretty tame tempo. Wow, this is wild. Okay. Well, that was perfect timing. All right, so that was Bach-Jossephy's arrangement of actually the Bourrée from one of the cello suites. I don't think it was also used as in one of the violin partitas, but I could be wrong. All right, so that is it for today. Thank you for anybody that was watching. If you have any questions, you can always ask me questions. All right. I'm not quite sure when the next one is going to be, but just stay tuned. If you have any suggestions or ideas of pieces on IMSLP you want me to play, send them my way. See you later.